Hey guys, welcome to my mobile office. I know in this time of social distancing it brings up a great time for you to get out, hit the rivers and lakes and be able to do a little fishing. So I thought today I would show you how to tie a couple of basic knots. If you're a fisherman, you probably already know at least one or two of these. If not, if you're interested in fishing and maybe it's a little overwhelming to figure out how to tie a knot on to the end of a line, I'm going to show you a few basic ways that you can tie a good solid knot. And to demonstrate this, I'm going to use a piece of twine and a fishing hook that's just basic. Obviously you can use these on any lures or anything you want to. And the first one I'm going to show you is the very most basic fishing knot there is, which is called the Advanced Fisherman's Knot. Now I'm going to bring my camera down here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. On the Advanced Fisherman, I'm going to take and I'm going to run the tag end through the eye of the hook, and then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to run it back through the eye of the hook, and now I have a little loop here. Okay, so with that loop I'm going to pinch it, and the reason I want to pinch it is I don't want it to disappear on me. If you accidentally pull it tight, you won't be able to find that loop at the end of the knot, which is when you need it. And you'll notice I'm going to wrap the tag end around the main line, and I'm keeping the main line tight with my hand and using my fingers to wrap the tag in. Another trick that you can do is put your finger, your other finger, with your hook holding hand nice and tight up against that. That keeps it from unraveling. Now if I'm using really light fishing line like a trout leader or something like that, I'll wrap it about 10 times. With normal line I'll wrap it about 7 or 8. Since this is really thick line, I'm only going to do about 5 wraps. Now once I've got to this point, we have it pretty easy. I'm going to take my tag end and I'm going to pass it through both of these openings, through both. And then I'm going to bring my tag end back up and pass it back through the top loop that was just made by doing the bottom pass. Okay, and then once I do that, I've got them all tied tight or pulled tight here, and I want to then go ahead and pull them tight. It really helps on a knot like this if you can use 3 points to pull it tight. I've got one hand on the hook, one on the tag end, and then one sliding it down. Now here's a trick that you need to make sure you do on this knot. I would wet this, I would lick it. If you don't feel comfortable licking your fishing line, you can obviously dip it in the lake, but you need to get it wet, because if you cinch it down and with regular fishing line, then it will actually cause it to abrade and can weaken the line. Okay, and this is a great knot. It makes a really nice and pretty knot right there. So that is the Advanced Fisherman's Knot. That one's really simple and easy to tie. Now I'm going to tie the Palomar Knot. The Palomar Knot is another common one. It's really good for using when you have a plain hook, maybe fishing with a plastic worm, or tying on for a trout leader as well. Also easy with really light line. But for the Palomar, we're going to start it a little bit differently. I'm going to double up the line over to here, and I'm going to pinch it, and I'm going to pass that loop through the hook. Okay, so now I have the hook just hanging on that loop, and then I'm going to take that loop and tie a really basic overhand knot. I want to eliminate any twisting I can in these, but I've got a basic overhand knot there. And then I don't want to pull this tight yet. I want to leave it loose. I'm going to pass it over the hook itself. As you can imagine, with a big lure that you might use for bass fishing or something, you need a bigger loop. But for this one, I pass it over the hook, and then I start to pull it tight. Now, it's a little bit easier with other line, but one of the tricks is you want to get this loop out of here, and so you want to pull the tag end to make sure you get that loop out, or else you can be left with some slack. And then I'm going to pull it tight, and I'm going to cut off the tag end. That's all there is to it. That's the Palomar knot, and a very simple knot to tie. The last one here is probably the most advanced knot of all these, and this one is going to be called the World's Fair knot. World's Fair knot is one I learned several years ago, and I really like it for braided fishing line. Braided fishing line is notorious to be hard to tie, and I like to use this one. So I'm going to start it just like the Advanced Fisherman. I'm going to go through the eye twice, and I'm going to have a loop on this one. We want to leave the loop big, and then I'm going to take both fingers and I'm going to grab these two fingers, and I'm going to grab the tag end and the main line going to the line. This is the main line going to the pole, and this is my tag end. I'm going to pull it through, and I've got both of those in my fingers. Then I'm going to take and reach back through that loop, same concept, and grab my tag end again, this time by itself, and now I'm going to pull it up into its own loop. Then I'm going to take my final tag end here and just pull it through. Now it looks kind of like a bird nest, but what you need to do on this knot is finish it by pulling tight with 3 points of contact. So we want to pull it tight with our finger over here, our hand over here, and then also the hook over here. And when you do that, you're going to finish this knot by pulling in 3 different directions, and it should pull out all the slack out of the line. Okay, and once again, it's a little bit easier to tie when you're tying it with actual fishing line than when you're tying it with the heavy stuff, and I'll show you that again because that one is a little bit more complex and probably one most of you don't know. So I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to take it, I'm going to pass it through twice. Okay, then I'm going to reach through the loop and grab the tag end and the main line and pull them through. Then I'm going to grab the tag end one more time, make a loop out of it, and then pass the tag end back through the final loop. And now I've got it, and I'm going to pull it tight with all 3 lines at the same time. And there you go. And then I'm going to clip the tag in. Now keep in mind, when you learn to tie any of these, it's probably going to take you, I don't know, 50, 60 times of practicing. So take a good rainy day like today and get you some string or get you some heavy fishing line. It's always easier to tie with heavy fishing line the first time, and practice tying them. And that way when you get out on the lake and you're ready to tie a knot, you can quickly and efficiently tie a knot that will be stronger than your line. And that's the idea. You want your knot to be stronger than your line so that your line will always fail before your knot does. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about it, shoot me an email and I'll try to help you out.